A heartbreak gets turned into a punchline, and that's exactly why this scene hurts so much. In barely a minute, a sweet, open guy dies, and the Barney Stinson we know gets built out of pure humiliation. And honestly, this might be the cruelest joke How I Met Your Mother ever told. Up to this point, the episode has framed Barney's past like a mystery everybody wants to laugh at. The gang is swapping embarrassing stories, there's an old tape involved, and the whole setup invites you to expect some ridiculous explanation for why this man became so obsessed with suits, catchphrases, and never getting attached. But the real stakes are heavier than that. Season 1 is still teaching us who Barney is, and this flashback plants the wound under the performance. It takes the loudest character in the group and quietly suggests that the act came from a very real place. Not confidence, but damage. What makes Neil Patrick Harris so good here is how little he asks the moment to do for him. Pre-transformation Barney isn't played as a cartoon opposite to the later version. He isn't just goofy, naive, or there to set up a joke. He feels sincerely soft. The crying lands because it isn't polished sitcom crying. It's awkward, exposed, almost adolescent in the worst possible way, like someone who has no defense mechanism ready yet. Then the shift begins, and Harris doesn't play it as a burst of empowerment. That's the key. The posture firms up, the face goes still, and the emotion doesn't disappear because he's healed. It disappears because it's being sealed off. By the time the suit goes on, the expression is less triumph than numb resolve. That's why the montage feels devastating instead of inspiring. He's not becoming himself. He's deciding which parts of himself are no longer safe to show.
Poor thing.
The writing choice that makes this sequence unforgettable is the total absence of dialogue during the transformation itself. In a sitcom built on rhythm, banter, and narration, the show suddenly trusts pure visual storytelling. That silence matters because words would have softened the blow. A speech could have made Barney sound witty, bitter, or self-aware. The montage refuses all three. It lets humiliation sit there, unprotected. And the direction sharpens that idea by turning the change into a compressed life event. The mockery from Shannon and Greg gives the scene its trigger, but the montage doesn't stay on them for long, because this isn't really about villains. It's about internalization. The costume change is the most obvious image, but the real writing trick is that the suit becomes a character decision. The show takes a running gag we already know from present-day Barney and retrofits it into emotional logic. Suddenly, a joke from earlier episodes becomes backstory, and backstory becomes theme. This is why people still remember the montage so vividly. It explains the entire Barney paradox in one clean, painful stroke. He's the funniest character in the room, but the joke always has a little desperation under it. He's the most performative guy on the show, yet this scene suggests performance is his survival skill. And that fits the series better than it first appears. How I Met Your Mother constantly hides sincere emotion inside structure, gimmicks, and punchlines. It tells sad things in entertaining ways. This montage may be the purest version of that formula. On the surface, it's the birth of a legend. The suit, the swagger, the persona. Underneath, it's a man replacing vulnerability with branding. That's why the scene feels bigger than a flashback. It turns Barney from comic relief into someone the audience can suddenly read in 2 layers at once. Every future laugh gets a shadow behind it. For a sitcom, that's an incredibly elegant piece of character construction. So yes, the suit is iconic, but this scene makes the real point clear. Barney Stinson wasn't born cool. He was built as protection. That's why this montage still hits so hard. If you think this is the moment that defines him, subscribe and tell me which single scene from the show deserves the next deep dive.